Welcome everyone back to another episode of Q&A with Sharon's son George. I was my mother's caregiver after she was diagnosed with Parkinson disease. Sadly, she passed on 1/1/2020, but we started Together for Sharon.com as a family in her memory and also to advocate for a cure for all those still battling today and their families because I believe, and I believe our incredible guest today also will agree that no one is ever alone in this fight for a cure. And on that note, I wanted to introduce Brian, who's become a very close friend of mine through social media, but also I feel like he's a part of my heart because every day I might have some tough things going on. I think of Brian and all of you listening and just realize that I can't stop and we have to keep fighting. So I wanted to welcome you, Brian, to the show. Many people don't know this has been a fun time. You know, we missed one, but we got it done, and I'm so excited to join together today.
Yeah, me too. I appreciate you having me. I appreciate this time to bring awareness and hope. Hope. That's what I hope. People get hope out of this. If we can get hope, we're okay.
I appreciate that. And a lot of the amazing work you've done, we'll talk about like the American Parkinson Disease Association, which our family donated about $15,000 over the last few years. And I like that they also helped sponsor a lot of your beautiful uh, advocacy. And I will share a little video too a little later in the show, but maybe you can start us off by telling everyone a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, Brian Rufert, diagnosed in 2000, April 2017. If I close my eyes a lot, concentration is a challenge. So that's just part of me with where I'm at learning. 2017, experiencing weakness in my legs, couldn't get off my couch, and had a tremor in my left hand. I didn't think it was a tremor. I just thought I was texting too much. I really did. I thought I was on the phone and but when I couldn't get off my couch, I knew that was an issue. I thought I was out of overweight, but my doctor said, "Hey, let's keep an eye on this." And he sent me to the hospital 2 weeks later, and they had all my clothes off and my skimpies down to my skimpies in 1 2 minutes, like in the movies. And 4 days later, after every test to mankind, they came in and said on day 4 that you got Parkinson's disease. We think you have Parkinson's disease. We're pretty sure. And sent me to a movement specialist, and um, they began to give me education, you know. But they told me that the medicine the medicine is a big thing to how they can help know if it works, and it helped me. It helped me tremendously. But I didn't take Parkinson's serious at that time. I was working full time, um, doing ministry full time, helping people full time, and married, having a great life, and my symptoms were pretty much gone. So I didn't take it serious. I didn't educate myself, and so that's the beginning of my journey. Um, that's the beginning of my journey. I don't know what else. You're gonna have to really lead me on this, okay?
Yeah,
What else do you want to know?
that's
Ask
the
me
great
questions.
the
Yeah,
great thing about the show. It's more of a conversation. We don't really want lecturing. No offense to my lecturing people out there, but I think some of the things you said were so touching. And one specific area is the ministry. Maybe you could talk a little bit that I think I discovered one pastor once, and I know there is a beautiful organization called Life Spark, which actually is the only one kind of tries to reach out to Jewish individuals who have Parkinson's in the world. But ministry to me is important. I was curious how faith has also supported and helped you through some of these tougher times. And then I definitely want to talk back to, their experience being stripped because obviously I'm not diagnosed as of now, but I've gone through so many surgeries and I worked in the police and military world. So everyone's seen me naked at this point in the medical field. But that
yeah,
must be shocking for the first time.
yeah. Well, I mean, faith has a huge part of it because that's what I was a pretty bad guy before I was 25. Between 18 and 25, I was young, and I got, God came and really just opened my eyes. And back in 1996, and it began a journey to get off drugs and alcohol. And my faith was it was solid, for the most part when I got diagnosed with Parkinson's. Um, and so the community I had around me, my friends, my pastor, my church, um, so my faith has been it's what keeps me there. Being able to concentrate on my faith and hold on to it, with everything going on has been the challenge. But without my faith, I would never, my faith in Jesus Christ, I would never be here. There's no way. Without that, in the friends, in the community of the church I was involved in, and then now you guys, it's my solid foundation. But I can't do it without you guys either.
I appreciate sharing that. And I don't know why, I do this. I do know why I do this, but I try to see what drives me to keep doing this. And it's always to see a topic or area that fascinates me and more about not just the topic, but that there's not enough awareness out there. And I don't see a lot of the faith used more for awareness for Parkinson's. So it's just one area that you bring up now that I'm already thinking my brain's going to, we need more out there. So maybe after the show we'll talk, but really think it could help so many people through some of these tougher times. Maybe again, you could touch on or go back from on about, going into a hospital, having everything kind of torn off and going sent into this new world of something that you weren't even, the day before that morning aware of, what's that like for someone out there who might be diagnosed just now or even the future.
I think my story, I'm sure there's other people I haven't that didn't everyone had a lot of people had a lot of things going for them, but my symptoms weren't real bad. So, I just kept going, I kept going. And I didn't realize that all the times I was in the hospital 3, 4, 5 times before I got diagnosed. Muscle spasms. I had 6 spasms in my back, and we just thought it was out of weight. So you're going through all these things. So when I was diagnosed, I kind of was relieved that I knew what it was, why I was going through what I was going through the last couple of years, but I didn't know everything involved in it. So I wasn't prepared for what was to come in the next year, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, we have so
Yeah.
much. That's again why I love this show, not because it's
Mm,
our show, but it always bring. I always think I know everything or learned at least, and then I realize that you don't know anything because just
mm.
some of the things as we become friendly and talk about. Just the other night, you mentioned bowling, and it's funny because I grew up in New York City, and a lot of times, it's snowing, so we couldn't do anything, and the whole community for some reason went to Gil Hodges Bowling. There was a famous bowling alley in Brooklyn, New York, and I
Okay.
a lot of time there, but my mother was a bowler. Was in a league and joined me. I remember some Saturday morning, Sunday, I didn't want to get up. She would drag me by my hair because she wanted me to, and I'm glad she did because I actually, had a spin. I had a 170 or 80 average. Some of my friends ended up in the Olympics for bowling, which
Wow.
if they're listening now, David and Jeffrey, a shout out to you. But some of these areas are interesting because no one ever in my research has talked about bowling and how that can actually slow the progression of Parkinson's because I do consider it a sport and it's a fun pastime for a whole family. But maybe you could talk a little bit about, bowling. I think we need so far, I mean, just this show in a few minutes brought up faith and bowling as two topics that I'm actually now going to have to write about and hope maybe we'll do it together because there's not enough attention to these things, at least in my experience.
Right, right. I bowled years ago, 21 years old, and I hadn't bowled. And when I was diagnosed, I got to share this. And there's a couple things I asked people what I should share about my story. I don't know. I just know what's important to me is when I got diagnosed, I had pre-existing. I like to. My life was okay. I got diagnosed with Parkinson's. All right, but then on this journey, I also had pre-existing issues. I was sober for 17 years, so I had old addiction issues. I had mental health issues before and anxiety, so I was taking medication. So when I got diagnosed, my neuropsych said, "Hey, we've got to change your meds because your meds do not match up with Parkinson's meds." Okay, and I had to go off my old meds for anxiety, potential depression, okay, other issues. And she had to put me on whole new meds with my Parkinson's meds. And I think that's very important to realize because when I also got diagnosed, George, they told me that the most evil thing I've ever heard in my life, no cure, exercise is the only thing that can slow it down, right? Well, I've never exercised in my life, George. You imagine what can go through a person's mind. So not taking it serious, not exercising. Then when I went through what I went through in 2018, I had a full collapse. Long story short, I just had a mental breakdown. I didn't know what was wrong with me. I was trying to solve it with the wrong solution. So when I finally in 2022 took Parkinson's serious and they said, medicine is movement, I said, oh. And my friend said, let's go bowling. I said, let's go bowling. And from that time, I put it in my mind, this is going to help my Parkinson's. I didn't know how much it would help my Parkinson's. Since 2022, I got involved in league, senior league. I got involved in a competitive doubles league. I bowled in tournaments, and I'm up there, and I'm tremoring on the inside. My tremors are on the inside. And long story short, bowling gave me movement and exercise. It helped me to get a physical therapist. I want to thank Dr. Riley Duffield, a physical therapist who helped me continue to bowl. All right. And it's been a lot of trials, but I built a community. And that's the same thing we have in Parkinson's and the same thing that we have in a good, solid church foundation, and that's what I found here. And so bowling has become a passion to help get me out of the house. And it saved my life. It saved my life. It really did. I could talk about it forever, but it's people say, why do you get out for bowling and you don't get out for other things? Because I got to move today, you know? So that's kind of, I had to throw in the medicine thing to get to the bowling thing because I had to start. And now I'm exercising a little bit more 7 years after diagnosis. So that's my hope for others. I want to help others to start to move, you know? So, yeah.
I love that there are, if you don't like sports, everyone listening, it's okay, but you try something else. So if you don't like golf, because I think it's boring, I tried, I just can't. And then I love basketball, but I'm too injured all the time. But then there's other sports like bowling, there's walking, there's just so many things out there that I think the biggest defeat, unfortunately, my mother faced a little, was that she kind of not gave up, but found it tough to do much. So she didn't know there was so many different things. And back then, 7, 8, 10 years ago, we didn't have the research we do now that you can slow the progression due to sports. So just recommend everyone to try something. That's all you can do is if you don't like one thing, please keep trying others. And I
That's,
thank you for
that's
that.
right.
I wanted to now
That's,
take a moment to share. And the most important reason we have these shows is for awareness, but also please go support Brian and all he does. So here I'm going to add all these links to the show notes so you don't have to type anything. Everyone listening, please share this. And again, support Brian on Facebook. You can find him right here in Brian, and you can see Rufert. I love his page, and we like everything because it really shows a lot of just real life things and, different enjoyable topics and a lot of sports. And also, one of my favorite and how I think we met was 30 for 30 underscore YOPD
yeah.
for
Yeah.
bowling. This is maybe you could talk. And also, I just wanted to show also a beautiful message from you. Let me just see if I can play this sometimes.
Tried to commit suicide, attempted suicide. And so through that after that, getting back, I never got back to a place of stability from 2018 to 2022.
Sure. I even voluntarily called Dr. Fine and said, get me into a hospital. It's happening again.
Yeah.
So I learned from before that I just knew something wasn't right.
We know that that is super common for folks with Parkinson's to contemplate suicide. And I don't want to say that to scare people, but to
I wanted to play more of you, but everyone can also find that. And I want to thank, of course, American Parkinson Disease Association, a group
Yeah.
we've again donated over $15,000 so far in my family and my memory of my mother, but beautiful organization who have been on the show. But I wanted to really hope everyone will support them and also all that Brian is doing. So maybe for a moment you can talk a little bit about your Instagram and hopefully again everyone will follow. I see a lot of my family here too, Esther and Julie. They've been all these amazing young onset, beautiful people have been on the show and I love them like family, just like you. Maybe you could talk a little bit about why people should really click that follow button and follow along your journey.
One thing I never did social media, not like this until 2022. And the reason I did is I found out that I could get information. My brain don't comprehend long stuff anymore. Okay, it's hard to sit still. And so Instagram gave me shorts. They gave me a way to stay connected. All right. And then I found somebody. I just read their message and I would message them, hey, I love your post. Okay, I battle with this. And from that, I get 2 or 3 connections, or 2 or 3 replies. And so it's a great place to find some inspiration, but in hope. That's what I try to find every day. I get on there and I find some hope. And then I get stuck sometimes for 2 hours and beat myself up and say, I don't get anything done, but hope is the big thing. Like this one right here. My boy Parkinson's just got a TD. All right. I'm a Seahawk fan. I found him. And then I looked into his life through time. And I write stuff because that relates hope, grief, trauma, and I don't know if we have time to talk about it, but in the next one, we can talk about the Parkinson's Plus support group. That's what led me to, I know there's people out there that have issues with Parkinson's plus other stuff, mental health, grief, trauma. All right. They don't have a lot of money. They don't have the resources a lot of people have with Parkinson's. And so I try to hit a certain, I just share my story and try to bring hope. That's what I do, you know.
And the support is an area I wanted to also touch on. So maybe you could tell how you found support and how everyone out there can also join in advocacy with you through the support group.
Well, one thing is that I got to say APDA, when I first got diagnosed, I did reach out to them. Okay. And Jen at that time, just incredible. And they would give me things to do. All right. And then that was in 2017, 18, great doctors. But in 2022, they helped me to get in, to find support groups, which took a year and a half for me to get through everything of I was dealing with, and made the connection there, and then find other potential places I can go if I need to, because I had to set up a wall around depression and all that negative stuff that hits us with Parkinson's. And I found out how much people suffer, like me, but we can overcome this together. So, yeah, there it is right there. That's the group. Yeah.
Look at
You're
time.
good, George. You're good, George. You've done this before, haven't you, George? You've done this before with your bad ankles, bad back, and everything else. I got to know you. When you said ankle, I said, oh boy. But anyways, yeah. So
it's
yeah.
interesting because a lot of when I have beautiful guests like you on the show, it reminds me of my mother. And that's again why I do this. Remember her and everyone I meet, she kind of lives on a little bit more. But some of the support didn't exist. I felt alone and she felt alone. For 15 years, she never met someone who had Parkinson's. And that kind of is heartbreaking because if she knew you and I had, we didn't have FaceTime, but I would have FaceTime you. We would have all talked about bowling together. She would have felt,
Oh
she
yeah.
would have smiled. And that's the most important thing. So again, I definitely encourage everyone, and we'll share this too, to join. All Brian does, you can reach out to him through Instagram and then ask more about Parkinson's Plus. But it's very simple these days. I always say, no excuses, everyone out there. Just everything that you're home now and at the literally your fingertips, or a family member could help bring you right into Zoom like we're doing around the world. So thank you again for sharing that. I wanted to shift now toward the end of the show to talk a little bit about you. And this is the part I always love, and it's just really inspiring. But can you list 3 words that describe who you are?
Oh man, who I am? Caring. All right. Determined. All right. And I'm trying to think the other one, right? I'm a Christian. How about that? I'm a Christian. All right.
You're allowed to pass, by the way. If you
Oh
don't,
yeah, okay, yeah. Hey,
but
I'm good about 2 things. Like third, I don't know. Yeah.
no, the third was great. What is one moment or most memorable moment that stands out through most of your advocacy and awareness so far that you could share?
Oh man, just I got a friend in Belfast. I got a friend in Australia. I got friends on the East Coast, and I got connections that that know the struggle, so that is that. And then also I'm working with the University of Washington Bowling Club. They're in their second year of trying to get their program in existence. And I've been working with their coach, Joe, and their team, and they're just fun to be around. They make me feel young. I hang around young people. So I've been able to find people that have the same care. Joe had gone through trauma or concussions. All right. So I look for people that have similarities and not the differences. That's the key. That's the key to my survival on social media, is I find people for similarities. And I found people all over the world. That's my greatest thing. And looking for, how can we help? How can we help? And find people with a like heart and mind.
I appreciate you accepting my friend request a year ago.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Here's
Absolutely.
one thing we love to do on the show is to also thank those behind the scenes. So obviously you're the face of this for real, advocacy, but I was curious if you could share with the audience who helps you during times of struggle. I was a caregiver and I know how important it is to have support, or you wouldn't be able to likely do what you're doing today.
Um, being, I'm single now. I'm 54 years old. All right. I had to make sure that I didn't live by myself. So I live with some people. They don't have Parkinson's. All right. But they have other challenges in life. So I surround myself there. All right. Um, this is me. What was the question again? I forget the question, even though I know I'm answering the question.
Well, you kind of answered it with the people that you're residing with, but are there in specific people who help you during times of struggle?
Oh man. Geez. Katie over at the APDA, Jen, those are two of my go-to people. I reach out on Instagram. If I have to call somebody, I do. And I got one or two solid people that I know that I can call with no matter what I'm going through. The stuff I won't tell anybody, that's the key for me. Because when I wanted to kill myself, of course, I didn't talk to nobody. All right. When I go through the dark times, and people with Parkinson's go through dark times. All right. And I want to say they go through darker times, but that's not true. I found out. Right. So I just try to find people that I actually look for people that struggle, and they help me through. That's what I do. I try to find people that are struggling every day that maybe I could give a word of hope to. All right. So that's what I do. And I don't know them. I might know them, but it don't matter. Now that I remember you have the ankle thing, I'll throw a couple jokes your way, make you smile, and you won't know it.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same way. Unfortunately, 5 years now later, I'm still grieving because we don't understand why.
Oh no.
We don't understand what happened, why it progressed so much. My mother was only 69, pretty young, and she was doing okay for several years, but something happened after she went to a trial, and we don't know if it was too much drastic changes with medication, but that was kind of the downward spiral, as I wrote about in The Son's Journey. But I agree, the only reason I can get through today is my wife, children, but also this beautiful Parkinson's community and people like
Yep.
you.
Yeah.
This one's an easy one, but if you had one wish granted, what would it be?
Oh, come on. What was it? I had one the other day. Come on. It'll come back to me.
Mhm.
I had it the other day. One wish, maybe I'll come back, right? I
We could
had it
come.
the other day. I call it, I just got through a year of what I call I want to do a lot of stuff before I die. You know that time when you go, when's my disease going to
Bucket
progress?
list. Bucket list.
Yeah, bucket list, right? But I didn't call it a bucket list. I do now, right? So I don't know. I can't remember what it was, but I had a couple good ones I wrote down, you
That's
know.
why we like spontaneity, so we don't
Yeah,
tell you.
yeah. When it comes, it'll come. Probably right when you ask the next one, right?
This one will be a tough one. You'll love it. But if you were
Yeah.
asked to write a script to a movie about your life story, what would you call it, and what actor would play your role?
Oh man.
And by the
Uh
way, going back a moment, because even though you couldn't name them, we want to send our love and support to all those in your life, whether church or living with you, for all the support they do give to help you be stronger and also help support so many other people.
no, thank you. And that's the thing. They do need it because the people in my life at that time, they don't know. They didn't know the depths of Parkinson's. They didn't know this stuff. So they're still going through since 2018 and everything I've gone through.
Yeah.
It's I know what you mean. I know what you mean on that.
This was back to the script. So if you were going to write a script to a movie, what would you name it, about your life story? And would there be an actor that would play your role?
There is hope no matter what. That's what we would call it. All right. And I would have Jason Gosling play it, because he is a diverse actor. And if you look at everything, that's him, Jason Gosling.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What would you say if you had a chance to go back to the future? Actually, earlier in time, not back to the future.
Oh,
back
that's
past.
man.
What would you say
That-
to the 10 years ago to a younger Brian, even though you're young right now?
Take golly, take Parkinson's disease serious. Take anything you deal with serious, all right? And don't let it not be a priority.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. You probably do. Everyone loves music, but what do you think the theme song of your life would be?
Theme song of my life. Theme song of my life. That's part 2, okay? Theme song of my life. Oh man. Marvin Sapp sings a song, and it's called I Never Would Have Made It. I never would have made it. And it just talks about I would never have made it without you.
Well,
And
if we ever get the
yeah,
technology to step to show up, I wish I could play the songs after you say them. It's not, I tried to play a clapping noise and it was a disaster. So we threw out the sound effect.
yeah.
I like some bowling sounds too. So anyway, just to wrap up a little, who is your hero and inspiration?
Man.
And as you're
Well,
thinking, I wanted to tell everyone again, please support Brian by going to his Facebook, also his Instagram. I'm on it probably every day and I really enjoy it. I think you will too, and help support him and join his support group, because this is again a family in this fight for a cure. So back to Brian.
yeah,
That
I
was
don't
your
know. I
commercial.
have right now, I can tell you who my inspiration is right now, and I get emotional about it, is Madison Keys, the Australian Open. She just won the Australian Open, and her testimony is a lot like what the battles we go through, because we have life, you know, and they're very similar on the inside, okay, in what she overcame. So she's an inspiration for me to keep going to help others, you know.
You inspire me and so many others. And now through this show, I do hope everyone will share it, and Brian will. And together, I hope if we even reach just one person out there who might have be
That's right.
struggling, we've changed the world for the better. And that's why we do this. We do not accept money, anything. If we do, we'll send it to Brian or the American Parkinson Disease
That's right.
Association. And to wrap up, if you could leave the Parkinson's community today with some words of encouragement, what would they be, even though you've already done that?
No matter what, there is hope around us. Okay. There is hope around us, and there is, most of all, hope in us, even though you can't see it. There is hope.
It's hard to end there, but I just realized I have one more question, because this one I want
No,
you, and this is a new one I added recently, but is there a burning question you have, about advocacy or even Parkinson's or just life that you just haven't found an answer for? I like that one. I want to
yeah, I
do,
like that one too, right? Who can exercise for me?
that's a good one.
Yeah, right.
Burning through yourself, the soul.
I'm gonna tell you what, that's my battle. If anyone listening and you struggle exercise, that's the group I'm trying to go after, right? Who struggles with this? Let's do it together.
That's good. And you should start a exercise Zoom, and you can all join together and
Oh,
work
you
out
funny.
together.
That would be a testimony.
I appreciate your time and friendship, Brian, and I hope again everyone enjoyed this very important topic. But like I always say every show, and I'll keep saying it, when the lights, cameras, and paparazzi leave today, we have to continue this conversation. It can't end once we end the show. It has to continue. And we have to keep going. I have a little message for you, Brian, and everyone listening. We love you. We support you. We care a lot about you, and you're never alone. I, along with Brian, will advocate for you, and together, I feel our voices are so much stronger. And I always end with them just getting started, because obviously I've been doing it for 5 years. It's sad that every time I say it, it's another day. And then probably by the time you know, it'll be 10 years, but hopefully that, you know, no matter what I'm going through in my life, I kind of go to social media sometime or email you or text and think of you, and makes me want to jump up no matter what, even with a cast or boot on, or from the emergency room, or from the surgery center, and keep advocating, because I think that finding a cure is more important than anything. And also, until it's at everybody's doorsteps around the world, I won't stop, and I know Brian won't either. So I just wanted to thank you, Brian, and everyone listening, for joining us.
Oh, thank you, George. I appreciate you. I really do.
All right, thank you, Brian, and also thank you, everyone, for listening. This has been another episode of Q&A with Sharon's son, George. Like I always say, please share this, please support Brian, and as you know, so much more to come. I feel like we do have so much more work to do until there's a cure, and I'll definitely be right by everyone's side, fighting, advocating until that dream really comes true, and I think it will be very soon. So thanks, Brian. Thanks, everyone, for listening. Love you, and we'll
Thank
see you soon.
you. Thank you.